Guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in today's video we are creating a bridal look, a traditional bridal look. So I won't be doing a lot of talking, but I'll just go straight to the point. So first off, I went ahead to clean her face. You know how I love working on a clean surface. You need to clean your bride's face, and I am using a toner in this video because this particular toner helps me to clog the pores. So it's going to tighten the pores to prevent excess oil from coming out of the skin, and in which way my product is going to stay long on our skin. So next we go ahead to hydrate. For dry skin brides or clients, I love doing more of hydration, so that is why I'm using this model, because she has a dry skin. So I do more of hydrating. Any product I'm applying will have to be an hydrating product. So next, for my primer, I went ahead to use this moisturizing primer from Beauties, and I will distribute that all over her face using a flat brush for my application. So I just applied that on her face. Okay, so after applying product, always ensure that one product sits on the face before you go in with another. And for my primer, I'm going to apply this Rimmel primer. I'm using this Rimmel primer at the T-zone area only, and I am not using it's a mattifying primer, but it also has this moisture in it. It's not a very strong mattifying primer, but it also holds your makeup for a long hours. Then next I went in with Huda Beauty foundation. This is a mattifying foundation also. It's a full coverage foundation. So for my brides, I love using Huda Beauty foundation because it has a longer wear on the skin. I've been using it for my brides for a very long time, and it does not select any weather condition, either cold or warm season, like the hot season. If you're in Nigeria, you know how sunny it could be. So since we're working on a dry skin and I wanted to hydrate a bit, so I went ahead to apply this foundation from Outrage Cosmetics. It's an hydrating foundation, so I just applied with my brush on top of the Huda Beauty foundation to also get a perfect skin shade, because the Huda Beauty foundation was a bit too warm on our skin. So for my cream blush, I'm going in with the Eye Magic, and I picked the red shade. So I usually use Eye Magic cream blush for my brides, for my clients, anyone. So I just picked this cream blush because it has a very good consistency and it's easy to blend on the skin, and it just worked for me. So I don't have time to start wasting money on products. So if you're the type that wants to, save up your money, just get what works for you. You don't have to buy all the products in this world. Okay, then for concealer, I have hydrating concealer. My Nuban Beauty concealer is my hydrating concealer. You can also pick e.l.f. concealer for hydrating concealer. There are some other concealers you can also look out for that are hydrating, but I am using Nuban Beauty concealer for my hydrating concealer. I'll go ahead to blend out the outer edges first before I go into the inner part. So while blending the outer part, it will give it time for it to sit on our skin and give that full coverage. So I usually blend the outer part before I go into the inner part of the concealer, like the inner corners. So to dry up the concealer, I'm going ahead with the powder. This is to help me preset the concealer to avoid cracks under the eyes and to prepare the under eye for setting powder. So this will just basically dry up the concealer and give that dry surface for setting powder to sit on it. For our full face powder, I'm using the Polar Beauty powder in shade warm, PBO3 and PBO2, to get our full face, to powder our full face, to dry up the foundation. It's just a skin match powder. Then for contour, I went ahead to use the Annie's Meet the Brown eyeshadow palette to to contour her face, and I usually pick this kind of a very brown shade. It just warms up the skin immediately. So since I actually found out that I can use this blush, this eyeshadow palette as my contour, I started using it. For my blush, I went in with Bichan blush. I picked the middle shade, the orange shade, and also a dark pink shade for my blush. So this will just add colors to our skin and also warm up our skin. Now I'll go in with the setting powder. I'm using this Airspun setting powder. So I've been using this for basically since I started doing makeup, like for a very long time ago, for more than I think 8 years now, that I've always used Airspun. So I love the setting powder, and if you are a beginner makeup artist looking forward to minimize your products, you can get Airspun. It works for any skin type, okay? But for a very, very dark skin, you can't use Airspun, sorry. Or else you have to mix the Airspun powder with the person's shade of skin powder. Yeah, that will work. So I use that same Airspun to bake her under eye, so that it will hold eyeshadow fallout and also give that full coverage under eye also. So after applying eyeshadow primer, I went ahead to start off my eyeshadow with a brown shade, same brown I use in doing bronzing her face. I picked that same shade to start off with. So I love starting off my bridal looks with brown, and I went ahead to pick a darker shade of brown at the outer corner of her eyes and blend inwards. So you just ensure that you blend on top of each other and blend well. Then to smoke out the outer part of our eyes, to contour it, I went ahead to pick the dark eyeshadow, and this will give that smoky, outer part of the eyes. Then for our eyelid, I'm picking this gold shade because I love using gold for bridals. I don't know what how gold just basically makes you feel luxury for bridal looks. So I love using gold also, and depending on what the bride is also wearing, but gold is always my go-to eyeshadow for brides. Then for my eyebrows, I went in with the Cara Gel brow liner. I've always used this. If you are my subscriber, you should know that I hardly use pencils. I'm not a fan of crayon because I don't feel like it's pigmented. But I've used what's it called? I've used Marbrook, and Marbrook is just the only pencil that I feel like it's pigmented. And also Davis pencil. You can also use Davis pencil, but I don't know how to use crayons for my brows, so I just stick to what works for me, and I'm using brow gel. Okay, so I went ahead to just clean up the brows after drawing, and I use the same concealer, Nuban Beauty concealer, to clean up our eyebrows and also to highlight our brow bone. Now we go ahead into pigment, and I'm using the luster pigment in sunflower with my NYX glue and also ivory. So you can mix different pigment colors to achieve what you want. You can mix 3 to 4 pigments just because you want to have a unique shades of pigments that people will start asking you, what pigment did you use? So a lot of makeup artists usually mix pigment to get a particular shade. So for this particular person or this particular eye look, I mixed sunflower and ivory to get a perfect gold eyeshadow, like a perfect gold eye pigment. Okay, so after applying the pigment, I'll go ahead to line our eyes, and I'm using the Polar Beauty black gel liner to line above on top of our eyelid. Okay, so I'm using it with, I applied with a flat angle brush, a very small flat angle brush, and I also use that to line our waterline. To clean up excess eyeshadows on our eyelashes, I'm using the Zara mascara to do that. So I just basically use that to just take off excess pigments and eyeshadow fallout on top of the lashes before I go ahead to fix the false lashes. And I place the false lashes on top of our real lash where it is growing out from, not on top of our eyelid, like on top of our real eyelashes. Then you just stick it in, like push it in to stick together. And I still use my hand to press both the false lashes and our real lash together. So now I'll go ahead to take off excess powder on our skin. So I'm just using my brush, the Real Technique small brush, to just dust off excess powder on top of our skin, while I also apply my MAC powder at the same time, to take off those white powdery substance on top of our skin. So here I'm using the same Polar Beauty powder that I use for our full face, to further dry up our skin and just to revive the makeup before I go ahead to set. And I'm setting with the Marigold Skin Mist Setting Spray. This will just remove excess powder. It will soften the powders and make them feel like skin. They will just sit on the skin and melt it before I go ahead to lock the makeup with the FBH Cosmetics setting spray, or is it Sweat Lock? I don't know. You can check out for that. Then I go ahead to clean our lips. And so for that skin, I love using this lip stain, this Avon shade 12. So this is very pigmented, like it comes out sharp. Yeah, let me use that word. So I just use that to line our lips first before I blend. After blending, I went ahead to apply this Nuban lip stain in shade Mia. So this lip stain gives that bridal finish, you know, that lips that you want for your bride. This lip stain is just perfect for it. So I just went ahead to layer it on top and blend very well before I go ahead to apply a clear gloss, and I'm using classic clear gloss for this lip. So if you've tried any product from Classic that you feel like it's okay and you're good with it, you can drop in the comment section. Let me see what products you've tried on from Classic. Okay, then for our glow, I went ahead to highlight her skin, like her cheek, with the Fenty highlighter, the How Many Carat. So I just use my finger to place that on the bridge of her nose, you know, to give that glow effect, and also her forehead. I love placing glow there. And guys, this is the final look. You can see the eyes, the skin, everything is giving. So it does not just matter the kind of products you use, but it is how you use them. That is what matters a lot. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. Bye.